You look like one of those kids wearing a cowboy hat and you got your headphones. Oh.
Well, because my headphones are, I'm very disheveled now.
He's ragging on your cord, man.
Rubber boots. 1, 2, 3, everybody get set. 4, 5, 6, are we having any fun yet? Here comes Jimmy with the Rubber Boots pod, presented by BedSafe.net. It's 100% free. No gimmicks, no strings, just free. We'll talk about life and a little sports. Now you know we're gonna play some games. But if nothing else, you know you're gonna have a laugh. We're gonna have a laugh. We're gonna have a laugh. This is the podcast. This is the podcast. This is the pod.
It is Thursday at 6 p.m. right now, and we're live.
Oh.
Yes.
I'd like to say hi.
March Madness is starting in less than a week.
Very excited.
So, by the way, on that topic, how bad is it when you are the host of the podcast and you try to get on the YouTube live premiere of the podcast, and you can't get on your own podcast?
How's that possible?
You can't even. Well, I went on the YouTube. I was doing a Leafs game, but I had a few minutes, so I said I'll go on. I got on YouTube. I subscribed to our, which I guess I should have done before. I subscribed to our podcast, and then it asked me for my YouTube email or whatever, and I don't have one of those. Is that like a Gmail? I don't have that.
You just have to get one.
You create an account.
Yeah,
well, I couldn't do that. I had a Leafs game to do.
Oh,
might see that.
That's true.
Traumatic day. So I'm at work, I think, on Wednesday, and my wife and Gracie sent me a photo of the backyard, and there's a body in the backyard. Ooh. And it's kind of, the photo was 30 yards away, so it was kind of a little grainy.
Yeah.
But it was clearly an animal. Thankfully not Hugo, Buddha, or Willow.
Mm-hmm. You sure it wasn't that rug that you buried in the backyard a couple seasons ago?
Yeah, that's true.
The snow finally melted.
To the surface.
One of the dogs ripped it up.
No,
the thing was about the photo is that you could see like a creature's body, and then about 6 inches away, another smaller part. So my worst fears, later to be confirmed when I returned home late at night, said we'll leave it to the morning. Morning comes, it's a nice crisp day in the backyard. Brooksy sends me back out there. It's a decapitated bunny.
Bunny?
Now, you got a cult on your hands.
I thought you were going to say a skunk. Actually, that's the worst.
A cult.
Decapitated bunny, very sad. We have a lot of bunnies in our backyard. I hear bunnies are actually very cute, but terrible for your backyard because they eat all the stuff. But
yeah,
I love bunnies. Decapitated, no tracks.
Ooh.
That means, first of all, no coyote. Good news for Hugo and Willow and Buddha. No fox, which I thought it was. We have a fox that randomly comes through our yard, even though our yard is fenced. These foxes, by the way, they can high jump like Olympic high jumpers.
Really?
Wow.
So
yeah, foxes are very agile.
Barring something extraterrestrial, the death came from above. So
a hawk?
Is it a hawk? An owl? A pigeon?
I think it's a serial killer. They're wearing those, you could put stuff over your shoes, like what the hospital doctors use, so you
still leave tracks with that. It was
No, you don't. I've seen it in the TV shows. Silent killers.
Also, you've done it.
They dropped it through a drone. They were just dumping the body.
Yeah.
He's done it.
This is a morbid question, but forgive me, and it's to Puppy's point, because that's the first thing I thought of when he started telling the story. Like, as far as the decapitation is, did I say right? As far as the head severing is concerned, was it clean? Like, was it a knife?
It was apopolipic.
Was it Bucky?
Apopolipic.
How close did you get to inspect?
Yes.
Okay, so I had to go out with the, first of all, there's the other question is how do I dispose of the corpse of the bunny?
City.
Yeah, without becoming an accessory.
Well, apparently they do that. If I called the fine town of Aurora with all the taxes that I pay, they would come and collect the money.
Yeah, and even if they don't, you can kind of make them do it. Because you just keep saying, I'm going to throw it in the trash, and eventually someone will come and pick up the animal.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why? They don't want it
My
in the
father
trash?
did that.
They don't want it in the trash?
No, the one thing you can't do is you cannot put an animal
They
in
want
the
you to
trash.
bury it half the time, especially if it's a bird.
Yeah.
That's a
that
bird,
would
they
be
make you
illegal.
bury it.
Yeah, you're probably looking at a fine.
Guys, I gotta go.
So what did you do?
Okay, so here's the deal. My garbage day is tomorrow. My bunny is currently sitting in 3 layers of garbage bags because I didn't want any scent coming out at the side of my garage. So you don't.
I know. Here's what you do. Because you already tip your garbage guy. You put $20 taped to that bag with a note that says "shh."
Yeah.
Problem solved.
We're just say we're in this together.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they want
You're a
the
part
bunny
of this
corpse?
now.
Why wouldn't they want the bunny corpse in the garbage?
I'm not sure. I
Doesn't it
guess
all
there's,
get burnt?
if it's I know with birds they're worried if the bird's sick and they could pass it on, I guess, to other things. I don't know how that happens to the garbage, but
Well, look,
there's
I think
specific
it's
ways
just-
they
it's
want
just-
you to do that.
Lester?
Isn't it an indignity to the animal too? Like, with all due respect, you know what I mean? Like,
For sure.
well, I think so, right? So
I know, but I don't know
that's
what
the issue.
I'm worried that if I bury him, you're right. I want to give, but if I bury him, like maybe the dogs will dig him up, or somebody will dig him up on the trail, and there'll be more indignities to the animal. So I don't
That's
even.
true.
Just gonna put a heavy tombstone.
Yeah. Yeah, like
Plus the ground is frozen, so I don't have a backhoe handy.
You know what? You know what I do? I get one of those handbags that Cheryl isn't using and just open it up, put it in there.
In the freezer.
in the freezer.
In the freezer, preserve
In the
it.
freezer.
Now, do you know, James, if the injuries were post-mortem?
Well, I'm thinking that it was a strike from above that just I don't want to be graphic.
Went
but, the head was
terribly
just-
wrong. Ugh.
Yeah, they must have take. I don't want to get into this. It's
Well, I
disgusting.
mean, there's a chance that the bunny just died of natural causes.
Yes,
In the middle of my backyard. they
Pretty
said,
often
"Okay,
their
well,
heads just roll
and
off.
then the serial killer sliced it open.
Buffy, you've been
think-
watching a lot of Criminal Minds.
It's how these guys all start. It's
That's
the gateway.
very true. Do you have any
It's very true,
suspicious-looking
actually.
kids in your neighborhood?
Yeah.
Jeffrey Dahmer did start with animals, I believe.
All of
Cats.
them do.
A lot of guys start with cats.
Yeah.
So thanks. So I'm probably going to get eaten. I'm going to end up in
Well-
a freezer somewhere.
Well, not you.
I mean, it's 50-50 that Jared's responsible. 50-50 though.
I don't think any of us wanted to say it.
By the way, if I get interrupted, the Whirlpool guy is supposed to be here between 8 and 12.
Wow.
It's 12:19. The Whirlpool guy isn't here yet. Hey, Whirlpool.
Maybe he did it.
I spent 45 minutes on hold yesterday. 45 minutes just to get through to some woman to book a Whirlpool guy because your damn Whirlpool washer don't work. So
Oh,
2
you know
years
what?
old.
When
Wake
you
up,
said
Whirlpool.
When you said Whirlpool, I thought you meant like a jacuzzi, and I'm thinking
Yeah.
like people should be paying money to live like this guy. But it's just a damn washing machine.
Washing machine.
Oh, Jimmy, you're done. You know what happens?
Jimmy's
These
washing
guys
the
are
blood
going to
off the
come in
clothes.
and he's going to tell you it's more expensive for me to fix it than it is for you to buy a new one. I've done this. I played this game many a times. I'm like, well, why do you have a
if
job?
He looks in the back. He says, I got to look in the back because she told me, hey, you need to check if the hose is attached to the cables. And I'm like, just send the guy, okay? You're talking to an idiot. So
You're
what
done.
if we open the back, in the back, dead bunny?
Oh,
Rabbit
gosh.
heads. Yeah,
That's where Jared's
Wow.
storing them now.
that's
Wow.
it. Kind of
Yeah.
makes sense there.
It's okay.
look very good.
Better than the jacuzzi.
How's everybody
yes.
doing? What episode is this of the Rubber Boots podcast season 6?
Episode 7.
Wow.
Yeah,
episode
lucky number
7.
7.
Lucky number
Thanks to our
7.
friends at betsafe.net.
betsafe.net.
I listened to the pod last week since I had a long drive.
Thank you.
From, work. And you did, by the way, Stoff. Stoff has upped his game since
Oh, yeah.
BetSafe's come on board.
betsafe.net.
Stoff is a different man. He always
All
did
for
an
the bet
unbelievable job producing this podcast. But as soon as the Malta team came on board, stuff is just like there's stuff all over social media. The podcasts sound fantastic. They look even better. So,
bravo.
Thank you.
Bravo.
Point was
Good
though,
job, man.
they're our sponsors. I don't think I did a good enough job promoting our friends at betsafe.net last week. So please, I got wrapped up in all our interesting discussions. Please hang out with our friends at betsafe.net. Support them online on the Twitter account, BetSafe Canada, on Instagram, and on the Facebook as well. We aren't so good at the Facebook, but the BetSafe guys are very good at the Facebook. What was I getting at? So this is episode 7 already. We haven't missed a week in 7 weeks. I think this is the longest we've ever gone without a week off. There's a creepy guy outside my house. Could he be the bunny killer?
Oh, he's the bunny killer.
I think it's the killer.
It's Jared's
He's like walking
accomplice.
laps around like Jared.
What you gotta do is
It's
figure
supposed
out
to
who
be
the
a
alpha is.
university.
You gotta figure out who the
Whirlpool guy.
alpha is.
It's the Whirlpool guy. I'm telling you.
Do you think the Whirlpool guy killed the bunny?
I think he
It
knows.
seems possible.
He's definitely
It's
not
possible.
unaware.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
No, I
7
meant it
weeks
was
in
the
a
Whirlpool
row.
guy.
Huh?
I meant it was the Whirlpool guy walking around outside your house, but sure, he killed the bunny.
That's a logical thing.
You know what? I was going to do this at the end, gentlemen, but let's spend some time on it now before we get to all the Gold Bar League and stuff. Another tough week. We'll get to Walter Gretzky in a second, but we lost our buddy Schultzy this week, who I was trying to think, did Schultzy ever come on the pod stop? I guess not, eh?
No.
Schultzy
Unfortunately
and
not.
I started the same day, Chris Schultz, in 1998. So we were literally hired the exact same time, and our first day on the job as a TSN was our first day together. In fact, we did the CFL. I was hired to host CFL. Schultzy was hired to be the new analyst, and we had a meeting at the Westin Prince Hotel in Toronto. And I was sitting in the lobby trying to find the room that the meeting was in, and this giant walked in. I knew who he was right away, but he didn't know me from Adam. And I'm like, Chris, and he's like, hey, do you know where the Pierre Trudeau room is? And I'm like, I'm James. I'm going to be the guy hosting. And he did right away, this huge smile comes over his face. Anybody who met Schultz, he had the greatest smile ever. And he gives me the bro handshake and the lean in. And I broke 2 ribs.
Yeah.
The giantest hands, and just one of the biggest men I'd ever met. I think he was 6'8",
8, I think.
6'8" is what I
6'8".
think. Yeah.
When he played for Dallas, he was 6'8" and 300 pounds, and 300 pounds of pure ass muscle.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He was just a beast of a man, and intimidating to a lot of people at first, I think, when you first meet Schultzy. Because he could put the football scowl on too, but when he warmed up to you, he was the warmest, one of the funniest guys. He genuinely cared about everybody. I'll let you know. I have a few. So, did any of you guys have experiences with Schultzy?
I would love to tell a story if I could.
Yeah, go please.
Okay. So my first experience with Schultzy was with ESPN Classic when we were doing the Classic CFL games, and he'd hosted them. So it was a great thing for us. So that's how I got to know him. And one of the things that I found out about him, as everybody knew in the company, and I forgot about this, is that he was very old school. He did not own a computer. So all his notes were written out. And he said, Chris, can I email you? He goes, I don't have an email machine. That's what he used to call a computer, which is really funny. So, I mean, just that sweet guy, very, very chill, very kind. He'd often ask me, Lester, how's the music business? And I'd say, Chris, it's terrible. I'm at the terrible. Music business is terrible. But one story in particular, again, you talk about the bro handshake that almost broke your ribs. Well, we had a TSN staff party. It was one of the last TSN staff parties before we got absorbed by Bell, and it was at a place downtown Toronto. I believe it's Joe Badali's, and great time. Everybody's having a good time and everything. And I think we decided to move the party to another venue. So I'm walking up the street with a bunch of people, and I see Schultzy. Now, I want to point out that we were definitely having a few drinks, and everybody's being responsible. But I see Schultzy. And I say, hey, Schultzy, how's it going? Great. And he gives me a high five and nearly kills me. It's like, oh my God, man. Like I nearly died at the corner of front and whatever it was. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you know, when we got the news, and I hadn't spoken to him in quite some time, but a lovely, lovely guy. Give you the shirt off his back, and just it's a terrible loss. You know, but you know, it's great to have these stories because he was a great guy, as you said, gentle giant.
You guys have probably heard this, and I told it on TSN last week, but for our viewers that did not see that, or our listeners. So to what you say, Schultzy, we start our first night together. And by the way, when you said he wrote out his notes, he wrote out every single thing that he ever said on TSN. And he would also like write the name of the person. Like if we were at Super Bowl, he would first write, "Thanks, James," on the top of his paper, and then write the entire thing. Now, and I should say, he could ad lib. Like the odd time when we get in a situation where we had to freewheel, he could do it just fine. But that's the way he prepared. I make little notes. He wrote out everything word for word, memorized it, and then delivered it perfectly every time.
Did he do that when he was doing like halftimes and stuff?
Yes. Right from the beginning, that was his thing.
Even halftimes and things like that.
Yeah. So, you know, when we're doing a CFL broadcast, or we know in advance sort of what we're talking about. Schultzy, you're going to take the Argos offensive line, or you're going to take, you know, the Rams quarterback. And so he knows in advance what we're going to talk about, and that's what he would do. One of the more remarkable, like so much work involved in that.
Of course.
Oh yeah.
But he was so good at it, and he would get it word for word. So he had this unbelievable memory and a way to deliver it that felt natural. And he commanded the TV. Like he would make up words, Schultzy. That was another one of my favorite things about him. He would just make up words and throw like 8 syllables together, but he delivered it in a way that you would believe exactly what he was saying. Anyway, he didn't want to wear an earpiece to start. So the first game we did together, he didn't wear an earpiece. And he said literally, there's too many voices in my head already. And John Hines and Paul McLean were our 2 main producers, and Keith Pelly back then. And they said, Schultzy, if you're ever going to get good at TV, you have to wear an earpiece. So about our second or third game, he agrees to wear an earpiece. And that's how the producer talks to you, of course. So they try not to talk to him much, because that is one of the few challenges in TV is, you know, sometimes the producer's talking to you while you're talking, and you have a sort of left brain, right brain thing going on. So we used to do our chats right up to kickoff of the second half. So in this particular circumstance, Schultzy was talking last, and he was talking for too long. And so I believe it was Paul McLean, also the late Paul McLean, producer, who yelled in Schultzy's ear, "Schultzy, shut up and get it back to James. We're going to miss the kickoff." And this is what came out on air. Schultzy's going, guys, if the Argos are going to have to get back in this game in the second half, they're going to have to establish the running game. Shut up, Schultzy, get it back to James. We're going to miss the kickoff. He repeated exactly what the producer said. It was said in his ear. I think he thought it was his brain talking to him. You know, I don't make that to belittle him in any way, because Schultzy always made jokes about himself that he'd taken too many headshots as a football player. But he laughed so hard afterwards, and he loved that story so much that he would make me tell it. Like every year at Super Bowl, he goes, "James, tell the one about the earpiece again," right? Because he became, John Hines said it in an email the other day, he was in many ways the face of football on TSN for 2 decades.
Yeah,
because there was no one, you know, we went through hosts. I hosted, then Dave Randorf hosted, then Rod hosted. Matt Dunnigan was there for a long time on CFL, but nobody did CFL and NFL like Schultz. So he was our football guy for 2 decades. And, he's going to be missed so much. I wish he could know. He was kind of a recluse, Schultz, very private guy. You know, even at Super Bowls, a lot of times we'd go out, he wouldn't go out. He'd just stay in his room. But I wish he could have seen all the things that people said about him, like us here or people on Twitter, strangers. I don't think he knew how much he was loved and how much his work was appreciated. I really don't think he knew. Because like you said, Lester, he had a phone. We were at Super Bowl, the last Super Bowl together, I think 2019 or 18. And he had like a flip phone, like when you're watching a TV movie from 2008. And he was texting someone, and I'm looking over his shoulder, and it's only the numbers. Like there's don't you have any contacts in this? He goes, no, I just I remember, like he would.
Well,
And,
yeah.
He was like, because I mean, I didn't realize how popular he was and the whole panel was until I started going to Grey Cups. And you would see the way people would react when they would see him, and he couldn't hide anywhere if he was in public because he was so big, and people just loved him, and so I do think he did know he was loved. I'm pretty sure, but I agree. I don't think he realized how much he was appreciated at our place.
I just, the guy, I've been sad the last few days, and we have the funeral on Saturday, which I know I'll be sad for, but God, it just brings so many smiles to my face. The stuff that he would say. I remember in our second year, we were doing a panel for CFL, and I used the phrase, there was a running back for, let's say, the Bombers, a big guy. And I said, man, that guy's like a bull in a china shop. And Schultzy had never heard that phrase before, right? And he said, I like that, bull in a china shop. And I go, yeah, it means just like you can't control the guy's knocking everything over. He goes, I'm going to use that someday. So we get to the halftime or whatever, and he starts talking about the guy, and he goes, we call this guy the China Bull. And I'm looking at my head, I'm going, like, the people are not going to understand what he's talking about. And I'm like, oh, I get what you mean, Schultz. You said China Bull in a China shop. Like, China Bull. Oh,
what I was going to say is that maybe, I think we should find a way. I mean, for Darch as well, we should find a way to honor him. But for Schultz in particular, maybe there should be something called the Chris Schultz Appreciation Award, where somebody, because that's something that there's so many good people. And we do a good job of acknowledging people, but maybe there's some way we could do something specifically in honor of Schultz,
Yeah. Or we could do like a flag football game.
Sorry?
We could do a flag football game, James.
Oh, now you're talking my language.
You actually show off if you have these skills that you have claimed over the years.
I've been retired for a few years, Buffy.
Oh, all of a sudden, no, I'm not a little rusty.
Ready to go.
The other thing I loved about Schultz is he just had nicknames for people. He would nickname them right away. Braden, one of our cameramen. Braden, has a beard back before beards were cool, and kind of an earring back before guy earrings were cool. And Schultzy, first or second shift. Hey, you drug boy. He starts calling drug boy for no other reason. Schultzy's a very clean cut guy. And for that stuck for 20 years, every time he walks in the studio, hey, drug boy.
I've cleaned up my act, damn it.
Wow.
Oh, I love that guy. And I was gonna save this. I'm giving one of the eulogies on the weekend, but I'll tell you guys, he was also a very passionate guy, and in his romances. And the reason Schultzy would send, I don't know if he did this all the time, but I know to at least one woman, this is many years back, he sent some very romantic sort of love letters. And I don't know if he was trying to woo her or woo her back if they'd broken up. Mm-hmm. And the reason I know this is because he sent them to me by mistake.
And you guys were together after that for a while.
This thing pops into my phone, and I can't remember her name. I'll just say, hey, Julie Schultzy, can we just get together for coffee? You're so beautiful, and I just love spending time with you. And I'm like, how did he make this mistake? And so I sent him a text. I'm like, Schultzy, I don't know how to say this, but these notes you sent a girl, you sent them to me. And he just writes back, oh, thanks.
I was wondering why she hadn't got back to me.
What's he going to do at that point, though?
Yeah. So,
oh my God, that's hilarious.
We love you, Schultzy, so dearly. And yeah, man, I'm going to miss you. And a lot of people are going to miss you around here. And this all happened. It was a weird night at work because we were doing the Leafs game last Thursday, Puffy, and I got news about Schultzy early. And I was kind of frazzled for that entire show. And then the news of Walter's death was announced by Wayne around like 2 minutes left in the period of the second period. And so we went through all that. And I don't want to spend too much time on Walter only because we don't have much time today. And so much has been said. We covered the funeral on the weekend. But again, just a guy that was beloved by everyone. The Day I Almost Killed Two Gretzkys, my first book, is a story about Walter and Wayne and almost hitting them with golf balls on successive holes. We told the story on television last week, Gino and I was playing with Gino and Walter 15 years ago. Walter, all Walter did was look for golf balls the entire round. You never saw him. He'd hit a shot and then he'd be gone. And we'd constantly yelling, Walter, Walter! And it was only that I found out from Wayne during the eulogy at the funeral that he did this all the time. And the reason he did it, he would gather these big bag of golf balls every round of golf he played, take them home, hand wash them, and get Wayne to sign them, and then he'd give them away to kids.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, just and a lot of people don't know Gino Retta, who I had trouble keeping it together on the air. We were broadcasting the funeral on the weekend because Gino was having trouble too. Gino was really close to Walter, and Gino was extremely modest about his relationship. He didn't talk about it much. But Gino would host the Gretzky family golf tournament for many years. And one year there was a trip for two to Scotland for 2 weeks, I think. And Wayne bought it in the auction. And then Wayne called Gino off stage and said, Gino, I want you to have this trip. And you're going to take Walter. So Gino and Walter Gretzky went to Scotland.
Wow.
Yeah,
no idea.
Yeah, so Gino was very close with Walter, and I think you could see that in his eyes during the funeral coverage on Saturday. But sorry, I've been hogging this, Mike, but if anybody wants to say anything about Walter Lester or whatever, feel free to.
I've got this. I'm sure you can see it. That is the ticket stub for my game that I went to with for IMG back in the day, and those seats were very close to Walter Gretzky, and I was thrilled to meet him. Spent a few minutes with him just chatting. He was kind enough to sign the back of that ticket, and the man was a rock star. He had candies. He's bringing out candies to people, and they were loving it, man. This guy, he made you feel special. He made you feel special. Absolutely. Who am I? I'm just some guy, but he took the time, and the tributes that I'm hearing, I know they're true because it's exactly how he made me feel. What a beautiful guy. And as Wayne said at the funeral, the world would be a better place if there were more people like Walter Gretzky. So that's what I have to say.
Do you ever meet him, Stoff or Puffy? Walter?
No.
I never met him, no. I saw him
It's
a few
funny.
times, but
One of those guys that it feels like half the people in Canada have met. Like when he passed away and we were doing the thing on air, I must have got 50 texts from people saying, I met Walter here, I met Walter there.
No.
And all the stories were fantastic. My favorite one, I believe it was Andrew Pelkey. I'll get this wrong. A constable from the OPP sent me a note. Constable Andrew Pelkey. So he broke into the OPP with Brent Gretzky, who was an OPP officer.
okay.
So
Okay.
early in their tenure, this is 2010. They're having the game between the instructors and the students at the OPP Academy. And it's the worst snowstorm of the year. Those guys only had a 10-minute drive from their barracks or whatever to the rink. They barely made it. And so they're warming up about to start the game. And there's, the rink's empty. The streets are empty. It's a huge snowstorm. And there's one figure in the rink. And it's Walter. And Brent was caught off guard. And they called him down to the ice. And he's like, Dad, what are you doing here? It's like the worst snowstorm of the year. And he's like, well, son, I hadn't seen you play in years, and I'm still a hockey dad, so I want to see you play.
That's awesome.
And so all these OPP officers are like, and they said Brent had tears in his eyes that his dad had driven 2 hours through a snowstorm to see him play a meaningless game because, he just wasn't Wayne's dad. He was father to all the others as well. So
Yeah.
tough week in the sports world with we've done far too many of these, it feels like.
100%. 100%. Yeah.
Let's get into all the incredible stuff that Stoff has prepared for us today. I'll go through it. Stoff, interrupt me if I get in the way. Don't forget Free Bar Thursdays, which does Jimmy qualify for the free bar for attempting to get
if he makes it in.
Yeah, if you make it in.
Get a login, yes.
It is tough for Jimmy though, because we do have a pregame at 6:30.
You're gonna have to schedule your work life around the launch of the podcast now.
You can bring a +1. So it's Free Bar Thursday, 6 p.m. Go onto YouTube. You can be having dinner, get your loved one, put the
Whole family
on in the background.
Mood lighting. Yeah.
Watch it live. You'll be the first ones to see the episode of the pod. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Rubber Boots Pod. And again, follow our friends at betsafe.net as well.
Yes.
Stoff is ready to announce the Rubber Boots March Madness bracket. So we are, why don't you explain it, because I'll just screw it up.
Okay, as of right now, if you go to our Twitter or our YouTube page, we'll have a link. We'll host the bracket on Yahoo. And so basically, I guess we'll have the overall winner. How many gold bars should we award to the overall winner?
64.
I love gold.
50 gold bar.
50?
50 gold bars.
Right now, the leader in the GBL has 42, so...
Well, the person who wins might have 1. So
very true.
We should vault to the front. We got to make it. We got to get people to enter, don't you think?
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
Now,
all right.
we get 50. We get 50 as well. Then if we win, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Do you know Gus and what was the other guy's name? I had 2 buddies in university named Gus and Reg. They ran a massive March Madness pool at Carleton University. First prize was like $3,000. Jimmy won.
Whoa.
And he
Nice.
never got paid.
Whoa, that's brutal.
Oh,
Gus and Reg. And you know, this is how Jimmy's problem back then. He wasn't tough enough. I'd be like, Gus, Reg, where's my money? Yeah, Jimmy, we'll get it to you. And then university was over and they were gone and Jimmy never got his money.
but
That's
now,
horrible.
May I, if you don't mind, let me just take a moment
Yeah.
here to talk to Gus and Reg. Okay, let me talk to them properly. Gus and Reg, serious Lester coming at you right here. You owe Jimmy some money. Get him his money. We're gonna have a problem, a big problem. Consequences and repercussions.
Thank you. I wanted a heavy.
The
I
muscle.
wanted a heavy for a long time, and Puffy was supposed to be my heavy, but he's not.
I think it's pretty safe to say you'll be getting that money very soon.
Probably check will show up in the mail any day.
with interest.
Yes. Message sent.
Okay, so there you go. Starts 1 week from today. Winner gets 50 gold bars. Fill in the bracket. Is it going to make sense how they can get the brackets in and they just take
Yeah,
a
so
picture of their
we'll
bracket?
tweet out the link. It'll be on Yahoo. And yeah, but you'll have to have a Yahoo login, James.
Oh,
So you have a whole week to come up with that.
Yeah, you can figure that out.
complicated.
And then just make sure you
Emails,
get your picks in by, I guess, noon on Thursday is when the games start. I think
Yes.
the first one's usually at 12:10.
Yes.
At noon.
So whatever the cutoff on the website is there. I was going to throw in one little caveat. People can bet on which one of us 4 will finish first.
Oh, that's nice. For an
So
extra
maybe
5
You
gold
pick
bars.
one, yeah, 5 gold bars, I'd say.
Okay, so
So whoever finishes,
people just write on Instagram or Twitter which one of us will finish first.
Yeah, we'll
and
have
the
a
winner of
special
that will
post
get-
for this. Yes.
But what if there's 10 people that pick, Puffy or whatever? Who gets the gold bars?
Oh no, they each
No,
get
they all
5
each
gold
get
bars
5
that way.
gold bars.
yeah.
And the
Seems
cool
like a
thing
lot of
about
gold
this
bars
is
going
you're
to-
not gambling any gold bars. Entries free.
Oh,
Yes.
We love our
Exactly.
listeners.
Is there an age limit for contestants?
Always an awkward question.
This might be a family exercise.
Right.
I think
Ooh,
that's
should we
fair.
be able to bet on on your 2 kids as to who would do better?
Who will do better? That would be
Yeah.
a pretty good one
Hmm.
for 2 gold bars.
Let's for
Aaron
Bill,
versus Austin for 2
find
gold
out.
bars.
Fair and
We'll
Austin,
find
who
out.
gets the best?
I like it.
All right,
I'll
so
take it.
enter that and let's get to things I saw on Twitter.
Freaky pigs, strange chicks, world of Ferris, polar bears, fake news, nice shoes, big boobs, jack dudes. All of these things and more as I sat on the shitter. Things that I saw on Twitter.
I know we were all watching the NBA All-Star game since, we had some gold bars on the line.
At least following
With
the
the-
box score.
Yes, most definitely. Did any of you guys happen to see the national anthems?
Did not.
Did not.
All right. Well, if you would have watched the game, you would have saw that LeBron James was singing along, or at least lip syncing along to the Canadian national anthem.
Very
French?
nice.
Was he doing the French?
That would be awesome.
He was not doing the French. But would have been pretty good. So why do you think he knows it off by heart? Is it like just over time, or do you think those playoff runs from like 2016 to 2018 when he kept killing the Raptors. It just left such a fond memory in his.
Yeah,
I think like LeBron, I remember at the end of one of those series saying like this was like the best crowd he'd ever played in front of. I think his exit route is to leave the Los Angeles Lakers and finish his career in Toronto with the Raptors.
You heard it here
I'll
first.
say this. I mean, I know a couple of people that have spent time with him when he's in Toronto. He comes to Toronto for Caravana usually. He loves it here.
Mhm.
So I would not. That wouldn't surprise me at all. You know,
he is not coming to Toronto to finish his career.
It wouldn't shock me. I'm saying I'm not saying he's
him and Drake are buddies.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? You know, why wouldn't I think that would be
You heard it here first.
Him and Drake are
an
buddies.
unbelievable legacy for him.
Okay, for $1 million gold bars.
Yes.
I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it wouldn't surprise me.
What if we offer him 100 gold bars along with the contract? He might come.
And he can sing the anthem anytime he wants.
What is this fan-controlled football stuff? So
I came across this on Twitter since we are in things I saw on Twitter. So basically, fan-controlled football, they started an indoor football league like arena football.
Mm-hmm.
But the caveat here is that it's the fans or the, I guess, the viewers who get to call the plays in the game. So I guess people join on Twitch, watch the game, and then have some sort of way of selecting from a group of plays as to what's going to be run.
That sounds awesome.
I think in theory that does sound awesome, and it gets you really involved into the game. But is it a good idea?
Let's just say somebody's going to be ready.
Hey, save that for the flag football game.
Laminated. That's unbelievable.
Didn't we talk about this on like season 1 or 2?
Yeah.
This is these are when I coached the Devon's Drive. What were we with, the Dragons or something? To our 2 York Region touch football championships. One of the smallest public schools in York Region. We dominated mostly because I had laminated plays.
Those 6 plays.
Now, are all those plays for your kids to get the ball, or did you push your kids to the side and go with your hotshot stud kid?
You can. I don't know how closely you can see this, but that says Darian left, Gracie option.
Hilarious.
There was a moment at one of those tournaments where the coaches were shaking hands before the game, and one of the teachers actually said to me, "Are those laminated plays?" I said, "Well, yes."
You got to intimidate somehow.
That would be fun. I would love to call the plays for a football game, but it'll probably be a disaster because all the fans calling them will, they'll all be posts and corners and sending everybody deep. But it'll be fun to watch.
It would certainly shut people up in the post-game radio call-in shows.
So
we really screwed up that third quarter, guys.
This has relevance to what we were talking about earlier when Lester was going to become a heavy to chase down Gus and Reg. Bodyguard training stuff.
I saw this.
Yes, very cool.
Jimmy, you actually sent this video to us in our group chat, and we quickly clued in that this training video is actually for us to take as we're going to be your bodyguards when the podcast eventually goes on the road. So I guess my question after watching the video, guys, who in that video are you guys willing to play? Because there's the guy who jumps into the SUV with Jimmy.
That's me.
Cover him with his body. Do you think that's a wise idea?
Yes. Pants optional.
And the other 2 guys are outside of the car seemingly shooting at the perpetrators.
That would be you 2.
Wow.
But you're with the guy they're going after.
Can't they be the guy filming?
Yeah, but I'm in the bulletproof car. I got out of Dodge in a hurry.
See, I saw something once in a movie that they did not mention in this training video.
Yeah.
And that's if one of us just shoots Duthie in the leg, that creates more work for the kidnappers to try to take him. So that should be the first move you make.
That's true.
We take out Duthie's legs.
Or at least stab him.
You were talking last week or the week before about Greenland and how far-fetched it was, and we were laughing a little bit. Stoff hated it because it was far-fetched. We thought it was okay. I had 2 hours of boredom yesterday, so I watched the 2012 non-classic 2012 with John Cusack.
Oh my God.
Is another one of the end of the world movies. And Greenland actually has quite similar storyline where they're trying to get to this place they've built arcs because the world's going to flood. And I almost recommend you guys looking this up because it is the most campy, far-fetched disaster movie I've ever seen in my life. I don't think I saw it when it came out. I think it was horrendously panned, probably. Called 2012.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
He's driving a limo trying to get his family out of LA, and LA is falling into the ground with an earthquake. And the earthquake is following him all the way through the streets. And it's right behind him, all the way through LA.
It's a good driver.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
And this happens 25 times in the movie, where they're either in a plane or in a car in some part of the world, and the whole world is collapsing behind them. And there's the classic one where I think they're in China trying to get on a plane, and finally John Cusack falls in the crack, like the whole world collapses, and they're like, "Dad!" And then the one hand comes up on the cliff and pulls him back up.
Nice.
Nice.
Oh my goodness gracious!
Spoiler alert, by the way.
Yeah, spoiler alert. I know we have to do Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Should we do that before we do Puffy's props?
Yes, I guess.
Okay,
sure.
So time for 80s movies deep dive. Ferris Bueller's Day Off on AMC basically once a week, and probably in my top 5 movies of all time.
Really? You rank it that high, eh?
Wow.
Well, you would have been pretty close to the age of Ferris Bueller.
I think that's probably accurate. Ferris Bueller was everything I wanted to be, and I think I shouldn't say no. That's going to sound too braggadocious. I wasn't him. Ferris Bueller's very cool. I'm not saying I was cool, but I did like the bits when he's pretending to be sick at the beginning, and he's like, My sisters would say that was 100% me with my parents. That I was the baby that they bought all the bullshit that I was selling.
Yeah.
Right?
The parents are so good in the movie.
Yeah, they are.
They are. And thoughts? Lester, thoughts on Ferris?
Listen, I loved it. I'm sorry I didn't catch it during the day. One was on AMC, but I loved the movie. Honestly, I think as a musician, one of my favorite scenes is the twist and shout scene. I love that scene.
Yeah.
I think I remember watching that in the theater and going, wow. I mean, I knew the song, of course, but just the way it was shot, the way it was filmed, everybody was in, man. It was just a beautiful thing. It was a great moment. But I love the story. And my other favorite scene is with the car. When he's got the car and the jack, and he's raging about his dad.
Well, my thing is this with the odometer part. How did they ever expect that to work?
Yeah, that's kind of. I don't know that it's a plot flaw as much as it's the naivety of the kids. It's not really a plot flaw. They thought it was somehow going to work.
Yeah, if you run it in reverse.
Alan Ruck, who plays Cameron Fry, who's actually had a second coming of his career with Succession.
Yeah,
which he's quite good in. They got a commercial out where he's the dad, and they're doing the thing in the car. I don't know who it's for, but I caught it a few weeks ago.
Oh, that's awesome.
And the kids are trying the same thing. Like it's a pure takeoff of that scene for Ferris Bueller, except he's the dad. Look for it if you can. Little cameos. I always love in these movies. Ben Stein as the economics teacher who says Bueller. One of the top probably 10 used like movie phrases all time. You think?
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Bueller.
100%.
Like I still find myself doing it, like with my kids. Anyone Bueller, and they have no idea, right? They just like, you're so freaking
fantastic. It's very funny,
right? We talked about Ed Rooney. Puffy said he did not have a good end, so we won't get into Ed Rooney. Jeffrey Jones.
Yes.
Was this Charlie Sheen's first significant role?
I think it was. I think it was his first time he was in like a main. Well, he wasn't a main character, but like a notable character.
And it was just winning from there on in.
Yeah.
So was that her first?
Well, that was before Dirty Dancing and all, right?
Before Dirty Dancing, for sure. You guys know the story with her, though, eh?
No.
She had Dirty Dancing, and then she had plastic surgery, and changed her nose and completely changed her look to the point where nobody was interested in her anymore. That's what happened.
Wow.
I do remember that, and that's interesting, right? She probably thought she wasn't getting like the leading beauty roles that she could get, and instead, that was what made her different, right? Like she was a beautiful girl.
Yeah, it's very
big
cute.
nose,
but
she's
like
gorgeous in Dirty Dancing.
Do people get
Yeah.
nose jobs anymore? Because I remember in the 80s, that was like a thing. Like people were always getting nose jobs. And
Right.
now I don't know if people are just quiet about it or if it doesn't happen anymore.
Should I?
You could fill it out a little more.
I got a bit of a ski jump. Gracie
Yeah.
broke her
Once
nose
you go
playing
pirate.
soccer.
She did?
Yeah, and I should have got
Broke
it fixed but we didn't get it fixed. We weren't sure it was broken, so I kind of owe her one. I said, Gracie, if you want a nose job, I owe you one. Because
Oh, so rich kids still do get the nose jobs.
apparently, I just volunteered it because I felt so bad for her because I didn't think her nose was broken. I'm like, you'll be fine. It's just a bloody nose. And then, a couple weeks later, but she's.
But that classroom scene that you were talking about, like,
Mhm.
I remember like every one of the kids in it. Like a few of them actually went on to become pretty good pretty big actors. Christy Swanson was the one.
I was just looking up the cast just to see if there's other people that, like Louis Anderson, the comedian, was the flower delivery man.
Yeah,
We did it for about 2 seconds. I don't know if he was anybody then. Christy Swanson was one of the students. Yeah,
she was one of the students. She had the line where she's like, "My cousin's best friend's brother saw him," claps at the, I can't remember.
Oh
the
my
line,
God.
She was in that. I think that was her first speaking role.
Another little bit of classic comedy from that is he's running back to get home before his parents, and he passes the two hot girls, and he goes back to say hi.
Yeah.
So good.
Hi, I'm Ferris. How are you?
So here's the interesting thing I find from that movie. Sloane.
Yes.
We all loved Sloane, didn't we?
Everyone loves Sloane. Yeah.
Mia Sara. So she is 53 years old now, Mia Sara. So I don't remember her in anything else.
No.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm gonna read some of her movies here. Legend. No, that was before. Apprentice to Murder, Shadows in the Storm, A Climate for Killing, A Stranger Among Us, Caroline at Midnight, Time Cop, Black Day, Blue Night, The Impossible Elephant. She basically was not in anything, at least. And I apologize. I apologize to you, Mia, if some of these movies were critically acclaimed that I just don't know them.
Yeah.
But wow, strange.
But you would have thought after that movie she would have become a big star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was
CSI.
great.
She was in a 2005 episode of CSI.
Oh
That
yeah.
was on the Rabbit Killer.
But hold on, guys. Let's talk about Matthew Broderick comparatively speaking. I mean, arguably that's his biggest movie, right? Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Really? Like, you think so? Like, I can't.
Probably. It'd be
yeah.
the first one people would think of. Yeah.
I mean, aside from that, being married to what's her name?
Sarah Jessica Parker.
Yeah. I think that's probably the only reason he really sort of kept in the public. No.
Well, no, he was big on Broadway, was he not?
Yeah, really big on Broadway.
But you're right. Like Ferris he'll
He
always
went away
be
from
there.
the movies, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's Broadway. I mean,
I don't know.
no disrespect to
sorry.
Broadway.
The other
Those
thing.
jazz hands?
What was
Jazz hands.
what was the Sausage King of Chicago there that he gets into the dinner as?
Yeah.
Yeah, people will probably be yelling at me, but I can't remember. But again, one of my favorite.
Harv something.
Yeah, or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, all-time classic film. We'd go deeper into it if I didn't have a short time frame today. So let's get right to Puffy's Props, brought to you by betsafe.net.
Props. Props. Props.
Brought to you by Bet.net.
Hey, the water guys are here, guys, with that water that
Nice.
they say comes from the mountains of West Virginia, but it really comes from Barrie.
South of Etobicoke.
I might
a
have
lot
to out
worse
them.
than
Maybe I
Barrie,
should
buddy.
bribe them for free water. Say I'll out them on social media if they don't deliver me free water.
Well, you've just done it.
You know what you should do? You should get them to You won't say anything. Exchange for them getting rid of the bunny.
Actually, the water guy does look like somebody who would kill a bunny.
So our suspects right now are Water Guy and Jared. That's all
His
we got.
nickname's Drugs.
So it's a likely
Hey.
tandem.
The whirlpool guy
Oh, the Whirlpool guy, yeah.
and an owl. Those are the
Yeah.
four. Could we do a lineup? Could we do a police lineup with Jared, the whirlpool guy, the water guy, and an owl?
I get them to sing I Like It That Way.
I'm not
on the
sure.
Backstreet Boys.
Between
I just saw that
Between,
episode
Jared-
yesterday.
Number one, could you please sing the opening to I Want It That Way?
Really? Okay. You are my fire,
Number two, keep it going.
the one desire.
Number three.
Believe when I say.
Number four.
I want it that way.
Tell me why.
Ain't nothing but a heartache.
Tell me why.
Ain't nothing but a mistake.
Now number five. I never wanna hear you say.
I want it that way.
Oh, chills. Literal chills.
It was number 5. Number 5 killed my brother.
Oh my god, I forgot about that part.
That's one of the best scenes
That's
ever.
probably one of the best like cold opens for a show.
Yeah.
Period.
It's so good.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah.
Best ever. Okay, Gold Bar League.
I love gold, and so do you. Do 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 do. Join the Gold Bar League, and you can have some too. Do 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 do. It's the Gold Bar League. Come on and join the Gold Bar League.
We had a good week, did we not?
We did
most of us did,
amazing.
Did we go 3 for 3?
Yeah, we went perfect.
Yep.
All four of us went perfect.
So none of us gained
Hold
ground.
on. Did we all have the exact same picks? I thought there was
Yes.
one pick different.
No, we had all the exact same picks. It's just how many gold bars we picked
Oh.
varied.
Yeah, the week I go 3 for 3, I had like 4 gold bars to play with.
Well,
Yeah.
So these totals: Stoff 13, Lester 11, James 11, Puffy 8 is again still with the rentals, right? So Lester is still in first place overall.
Well,
those are all my gold bars.
but if Lester goes down to, let's say, 1 gold bar of his original bars and the rest of us are in the 20s, is he still in first place?
No.
Oh, I get you. No,
then
that's
we
fair
could,
enough.
then we
I
could
think-
trade ours out.
I think it's a
Keep me
tiebreaker.
down.
That's why he goes above Jimmy now, even though they both have 11 gold bars.
Okay.
Fair enough.
But should we say there's a certain amount of gold bars we get that we have to return our
Well, okay, so that's fair because the time to do that would be now, since all of us are in the teens except for you, Puffy.
yeah. I
Let's
can't.
wait one more week before we adjust the gold bars. I want to hold on to them. I want to feel like I have a 11 for one more week. We'll pay the bank back next week. All right.
Okay, the
Sounds
bank
like a
gets
plan.
paid.
Puffy, Stoff, anything you want to say from our before we get to the props this week? Listener standings: Brick Driveway continues to lead the way at 42.
Yep,
Chewy
both
Louie
in
at
the 40s.
38.
Mhm.
Andrew Arsenault with a big move to 36 this week. Ho still top
Oh.
5 in it.
Our guy.
Unbelievable.
Greg Lockhart at 30. Didn't we almost kick him out?
No. There was a bit of a discrepancy last week, but he's been following the rules.
We love you, Greg. I'm just kidding.
The other thing, Lyndon77, aka
Yes.
Pete Rose, finally officially back, but he
Woo! Way to go, Lyndon.
he lost one of his bars that he got back already. So, yeah, there's that. No one in the entire league, though, listeners and us, got all 3 props wrong for the first time. So everyone got
Wow.
at least one of them right. And in the first up challenge, AK now leads 19-10 over Carlo.
Okay.
Wow.
And I
Dominance.
saw from the mailbag that Ho asked, when does the GBL end? So we will
that's
have
smart.
to come up with
You know
an
what?
ending.
What's funny is that's a very good question. And prior to him asking, that never even crossed my mind.
Right.
Gonna
Just
do
went
this
on
infinitely
forever.
for some reason. Yeah.
Infinitely. we will end it. And I don't think we'll carry it right to the end of the season of the pod. We'll come up with something funkier and fresher for the our friends at betsafe.net.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I would say sometime maybe the end of maybe a month. Maybe we'll go for another month, maybe 5 more weeks or something in the GBL. And then maybe we'll do GBL playoffs.
Oh, that would be good.
Or GBL Champions League.
GBL Champions League. Oh, so like the winner of the Us 4 meets Brick Drive.
Yeah.
The top 4 from the listeners, maybe.
That's true.
Enter the Platinum League.
All right.
Yeah,
so Puffy's props this week. Did we figure this out, or are we just going to do this live like we usually do?
We're kind of doing it a little bit on the fly. One is definitely going to be.
Well, we didn't come up with them ahead of time.
No, we didn't.
Raptors also play the Hornets. We could do that game.
Ooh.
Okay,
And
let's do.
Right now, I believe they're 7 and 8 in the conference, so that's something.
Let's do that. Let's do Raptors Hornets.
Okay.
I am going to go Raptors 2 goal bars.
Okay.
We'll do it differently this time. Give me your bets for those ones. Each one of them. Raptors. Stop.
I will take. Okay, so stop. Go.
I will go Raptors 2 goal bars as well.
Lester?
Hornets 1 goal bar.
Puffy?
Hornets 2 gold bars.
All right. Bet 2. The Players' Championship is this weekend at TPC. Golf bets are always difficult. You have to limit it to 1 round. Of course, the famous Island Green on 17. So, do you prefer how many balls in total go in the water on Sunday? We have to limit it to 1 day. Or do you prefer like something more like the last 3 groups? Will anybody get in the water for more drama? What do you like, Puffy?
I like the last 3 groups. Probably easiest to follow.
Okay, so I think the over-under, the official BetSafe over-under was 6.75 balls in the water on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Usually about 50, 60 guys make the cut. So that would be 1 out of every 10 guys would hit the ball in the water roughly on Sunday.
Yes.
So
we're talking, the last 3 groups.
Well, do you want to take it to the last 5 groups? No, that would be, is there 3 groups
that'd
on
be,
Sunday?
I'd say last 3 groups.
Is there 3 guys? I don't know if they play twosomes or threesomes.
I don't know.
That's a bit of a problem. So you want to see the last 10 players? I don't know, because that would be goofy.
Yeah.
I got to think they play twosomes.
You think they play twosomes at the Players? Part of it is you don't know.
You don't know. So I'm going to say over.
Oh, so we'll do the last 3 groups?
Sure.
It could be 9 guys, it could be 6 guys.
Oh, what's the number? What are you betting over right now?
Oh, right. Okay.
So you just say ball in the water.
James, make the number ridiculously high at this point. Screw
9 balls in the water. Lester's got the over. They're all going to hit it in the water.
Set it at 50.
I'm going to say 2 goal bars, no balls in the water last 3 groups.
It's only on 17.
So
only on 17 on Sunday.
Yeah.
Puffy.
I am going to say 2 gold bars, 1 ball goes into the water. Yes.
17th hole, last 3 groupings Sunday. That's it.
Does the 17th hole have a water hazard?
It's an Island Green.
It's an island.
Hey!
It is not a golf guy.
It's
the
only
famous Island Green,
it's only water.
That Tiger Woods putt.
Yeah. Right. If you miss the green, you're in the water.
Okay.
Oh, I just popped back on. My AirPods weren't working. I just realized the entire show. They just popped back into my ear.
That's unfortunate. We'll dub everything you said.
All right.
It might be on Thursday night.
Is this paying evenly?
Yeah.
So what do you guys think?
Still there?
Yeah, I'm here. Okay, I'm going to say.
Jimmy,
I'm
what are
going
you
to say.
thinking?
I said no balls in the water, 2 gold bars.
Lester?
I'm saying balls in the water, 1 gold bar.
So yes, 1 gold bar. Puff?
I'm saying balls in the water, 2 gold bars.
Yes, 2. And I'm gonna go with yes, 1.
Gentlemen, I really have to go. So the last bet, this is my favorite bet.
Yeah.
My alma mater, the Clemson Tigers.
Yeah.
I just Googled it this morning. The #1 men's soccer team in the nation, taking on Virginia Tech. We're also in the top 20. Clemson is 8-2-1. Virginia Tech is 4-2-2. They're ranked 13th. 5 p.m. on Saturday. You know what I have to do here? 4 gold bars. Clemson.
I love gold.
A tie or a Virginia Tech win. Virginia Tech gets the tie because Clemson's number 1. Okay?
Who's the home team?
I don't know.
I am going to go Hokies for 2 gold bars.
Woo! All right.
I'm going to go Jimmy, 3 gold bars.
Wow.
Clemson.
A lot of heavy lifting going on this soccer game that we don't know where it's being
I'm going to go
played.
Clemson, 1 gold bar.
Love you. Gentlemen, I'm sorry I have to go. But I love you guys. Love you, Chris Schultz. Love you, Walter. And we'll see you next week on the Rubber Boots Pod.
And sign up for March Madness now.
And that's Jennifer Gray, right?
Sorry?
Lester?
Another little bit of.
Go ahead, Lester. I'm sorry.
So, maybe, that's.
Yeah,
go ahead,
go
sorry.
ahead. No, go ahead.
No, please.
I was just
No,
gonna
I was
say,
just
I
saying
don't know that CSN's had a bigger. Okay. I would delve into more. Sorry.
No, go ahead. I was saying.
Good luck with the editing on this one, Seth. Yep. But
if I.
Hey, how are you? I got a question that I really want to ask you. Wait, don't hang up. I need to know, so I'm gonna try and push my luck. Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? Are they purple, yellow, green, blue, black, or white? Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? And do you like the dunk tank at the fair? I know it's a little strange, my obsession with your choice of footwear in the rain. I know that you're on TV, but I need you to put your boots up on the desk for me. Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? Are they purple, yellow, green, blue, black, or white? Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? And do you like the dunk tank at the fair? This is the part they call the bridge. A bridge has water under it. With rubber boots you can wade in the water. Just don't fall in. Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? Are they purple, yellow, green, blue, black, or white? Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? And do you like a dunk tank at the fair? Do you like the dunk tank at the fair? The dunk tank at the fair. Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? No, seriously. Are you wearing your rubber boots? Don't hang up. Please. Somebody. Hey? Anyone?